This is a follow-up to the Nikon ActionTouch. You guys probably remember that video I posted a little while back that I picked this up on eBay, new in box here, for a really good price as far as I'm concerned. I paid $52, I think, in the end. I'd actually missed one that had ended for like $48. The seller had two of them. I've since seen, basically ones that are not in a box, not brand new like this, in kind of user grade shape going for, over $100. Some of them are kind of crazy priced at like $199. I think some of those sellers are crazy. But in either case, this was a bargain for being brand new in box. I'm not going to bore you with the box anymore because we already did that. Feel free to check out my other video. I want to do a quick follow-up here on this camera and some shots. So I've shot a handful of rolls through it already. I recently shot it a couple rolls of a Ultramax 400 here. Some people call this Gold 400. It's a pretty underrated film in my opinion. You can get it off Amazon. I buy it from various sellers on Amazon. They call it a 4-pack, but it's just 4 individual boxes. And it's like $15, $20 shipped. They usually do Prime. And it's a pretty nice film. Nice, good colors, etc. I'm going to show you guys some photos taken of it, but kind of want to talk about it quickly. So, I don't know, I kind of had a change of heart. Initially, I was thinking I was going to take this underwater and, kind of use it for its intended purposes. It's supposed to be good down at 10 feet. What I've come to realize is the value of this camera, both as far as, the actual dollar amount, as I mentioned earlier, they've gone up quite a bit, combined with the fact that this camera, this is not, I got this one new, but I had mentioned in the last video that, this was a camera my dad had growing up, and when I was growing up, and kind of has some sentimental value to me, which is weird because this isn't his camera. I had his and it was broken, and I tossed it, which I kind of regret. Actually, I should have kept it, just kind of put it away or something. But this camera, I just don't want to break it, and I question the seals because it's from the 80s lasting this long. So what I instead used it for is just kind of think of like a weather resistant camera. So I took it to the pool the other day for my kids had a classmate's birthday party, and that's some of the pictures I'm going to show you guys here. And I've actually shot it, when I first got it, I shot it in a drizzle outside. So I'm kind of using it as like an all-weather camera. And for that, I'm sure it's no problem at all. It has this glass over the lens, and it's sealed, and then there's the seals through the back. I think I may have shown this to you guys a little bit last time, but so you have this safety lock, and you pop it open, and you could see the seal here, and then there's this kind of a sharp edge that pokes into the seal. So it's pretty well sealed. And you can even see there's a lot of dust buildup there that can't get into the camera because of the seal, and then you lock it, and then it won't even open accidentally. It's fun. The viewfinder's nice. It's kind of interesting because it has these little images to like see the different focus distances, sort of like zone focus cameras. And when you half press the shutter, which is a little bit wonky, I'll admit, when it's pressing it's a little bit funky, and you see this little thing move and kind of point at the various subjects. Typical mountain is, infinity focus, and then it has various groups of people as like people full body, people closer for like a portrait, and then the macro distance is like an M with like little hash lines, if you will, to kind of show you the minimum focus distance. I don't know if you call it macro, it's minimum. And it has flash on and off. I do notice when you turn the flash on, as you probably saw in the last video, it kind of threw me for a second. It takes a while for the capacitor or whatever is holding the charge for the camera to basically fully charge to be able to discharge a flash, that extra bit of battery and energy it needs. But other than that, it's a really cool camera. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to show you guys some pictures here in a moment, but it was really fun taking it out there. Surprisingly enough, someone had actually asked me, like, what is that, like an actual film camera? Like, I think the guy was being sarcastic, and I'm like, yeah, it is. And we had a quick conversation about it. He kind of agreed with me, like, he thought how everyone, digital now is kind of like a throwaway photography situation. where you just take tons of photos and nobody cares, post them to Instagram, move on. And he kind of understood why I was kind of into film, because it's like you value your 36 exposures, you know, a little more. But it was kind of funny to have that conversation, but it was just kind of cool to shoot the pictures, send them off to the lab the other day. I finally got them back. You know, these are from last month, and the colors, man, from this Ultramax are pretty awesome. Very rich, and I appreciate them a lot. So let me go ahead and pull up some pictures here, and I'll kind of talk through them a little bit. And yeah, I recommend this camera, but at the current pricing, it's kind of insane. So if you're one of these people who can actually find one of these working at a thrift store, I have found a broken one at a thrift store that unfortunately the batteries have been left in it and destroyed it, sort of like the same thing that caused the demise of my father's. Then I would totally recommend it, because if you can get it for, you know, a few, you know, $10 or something, $5, that's a nice deal, assuming it's working completely. And, you know, they're pretty durable. But at the current eBay rates, I can't really recommend it. What I would instead tell you to go after, it seems like the Canon SureShot WP1 or A1 or Autoboy. There's a few, Autoboy D5 or something, I forget what it's called in Europe and some of Asia. They're going up, but you can get them for $50 or less in good shape. I've seen, you know, new in-box ones go for $100. I actually bid on one and gave up, and it ended at $100, and I had backed out of the bids earlier than that and kind of thought it was crazy, but it was brand new in box too. But I guess because of this one I got for $50, I thought that was kind of insane. But the Canon SureShot WP1 or A1 or Autoboy, whatever, D5, whatever it is, they're less money and they're newer. They're from the 90s. This is from the 80s, late 80s, I think, or mid to late 80s. The Canon is from like 94 and on, and I think they made it till the mid 90s the late 90s. And further, it has a different autofocus system, because this one, if you read the manual, it talks about how you're supposed to use it in manual focus, and you pick, you know, kind of zone focus, 2.3 feet, 3.6, 5.3, or 12. I don't think it actually has an infinity settings. I guess they figured you wouldn't be doing that with manual focus underwater, but that's the idea. Like, Nikon didn't trust that their autofocus would work underwater, versus the Canon SureShot claims it's supposed to be able to work underwater. I know there's some funkiness online where they changed the A1 to be from a waterproof camera to a water-resistant camera, but everyone seems to be able to get away with bringing it under, you know, a few feet of water, like less than 10 feet, without no issue. And the AF actually works. I've seen a lot of examples where there's underwater photos that are sharp. So that's probably the better recommendation now. The price is going up. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it anyway, so get it now, because all these cameras, man, they keep going up. I'm gonna have to post another video about the Olympus XA and what I've been noticing with the pricing, but it's kind of insane. All these cameras are just kind of skyrocketing in value on eBay. Obviously, people still get lucky, not myself, who are getting these at thrift stores dirt cheap. I've combed them around here and they have nothing. But these film cameras are all going up. So anyway, sorry, that was a bit long-winded, but I will show you guys some pics now, and hopefully you enjoy them. So just some quick photos here again. This is Ultramax 400 Kodak film. Pretty affordable. This was on a really hot day. It's about 105. We're at the community pool for a birthday party, and kids are having a great time, and I got some good shots. It's very saturated. It's pretty awesome colors. The skin tones sometimes get a little bit overly saturated, but I'm good with it because the rest of it looks nice. And part of it could just be how the developers had kind of processed the scans, but I was really happy with it. It's a fun camera to use. Check that out. Little pen holding that umbrella up is funny. Really like this photo. This kid diving. Funny. My daughter didn't even want to go swimming, which was hilarious. She just ran around. Caught him spitting in the water. yeah, so I mean, this is not this is actually at our house. We have a pool in our backyard. This isn't like an unheard of film. It's pretty common, but it seems it's passed up sometimes, and I highly recommend you try it out. I've shot Lomography 400, and I think overall I prefer Ultramax. It's slightly more expensive, so Lomography is a little bit cheaper if you get it from like B&H. But I think I like the Kodak stuff better. So hopefully these examples were helpful with the ActionTouch. Thanks.